Hello, everybody, and welcome to RHAP's coverage of Big Brother 22 All-Stars. And we have a very unique treat for you for a very unique season. Of course, my name is Mike Bloom, here with a very special cast assessment of the upcoming hypothetical cast of Big Brother All-Stars. Will not be released until the premiere, which might be a similar situation to some people on our panel. But today, I'm so excited to be doing an official casuals cast assessment for Big Brother 22. I have assembled 3 legendary RHAP personalities who know next to nothing about Big Brother to give their assessment as to who the hell these people are and why the hell they're back on our screens entering the house. First, let me sort of go down the column here. Let me welcome a genuine all-star in his own right, considering he is an Australian Survivor all-star, the great Nick Yadanza. Nick, welcome back.
Thanks for having me. When you said that we're assembling people who know next to nothing, I thought you just meant in general. And I was like, cool, I also qualify for that. So that's good.
Yeah, the know-nothings of the world are coming together here. Though, I mean, listen, considering some pieces of Big Brother casting, know-nothing is actually a pretty catch-all term. Of course, the wonderful host of the Purple Pants podcast here on reality TV, RHAP. He's going from the PPBA to the PPBB for this podcast, Mr. Bryce Isaiah. Bryce, how are you?
What's poppin'? Hey, Mike. Hello.
I love it. Is that a new catchphrase you're trying out?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to see what's popping tonight. Okay, I want to see what these Big Brother people are giving. You know, I got my zaddy. I got my zaddy glasses ready. So I'm trying to get it popping.
I love it. Zaddy glasses and all. And yes, people, please make sure you're watching the YouTube version of this. We do have an audio version, but there is a visual component to this that we'll be getting into.
Oh, and of course, I better straighten up my hair a little bit. Didn't know about that.
No, you're looking beautiful as always. And of course, I'm so happy to bring in this person who I never thought would get into any podcast that has the word casual in it. You know her from her great international Survivor coverage here on RHAP. Shannon Gus, I'm so happy I'm talking Big Brother with you somehow.
Mike, you know me so well. Like that's so true. Is that I hate being a casual in anything. I hate coming onto a podcast without having the maximum amount of research and knowledge about something. And now I wasn't even allowed to look anything up about this because it's meant to be a casual cast assessment. So it's like, it's kind of freeing, but it's also kind of nerve-wracking that we're meant to know nothing. And that's like, I feel like the antithesis of who I try to be. So I'm going to hate you if I hate myself after this.
Well, listen, if you can't hate yourself, how are you going to hate anybody else? That's what I would always say as I caught from someone else's phrasing. So here we are. We are on the precipice of Big Brother All-Stars. It's premiering this Wednesday night on CBS. Big 2-hour episode snuck up on us in a very tumultuous time. So tumultuous that a cast hasn't been announced yet. But what we are going to do is that there are 17 prospective names that have made up Rob Cesternino's sort of series of hypothetically speaking cast assessments that he's been doing periodically throughout RHAP. How this is going to work is pretty simple. I'm going to show a photo of a prospective cast member. You 3 are going to A, guess their name, and B, guess what they did to make them a Big Brother All-Star. We decided to gamify this purely by my own judgment. I'm going to give for each round 3 points to the person who got the closest, 2 points to the person who got the second closest, and a nice little pity point to the person who was the furthest away from the guest.
Pity point.
That doesn't really make sense, does it? It should just be 2, 1, and 0. But now,
I mean, listen, everyone gets a point here. You guys are going the extra mile, throwing yourselves into the Big Brother community on the whole while talking about this. Before we get into it, let's just take a ruler, whether it be in inches or centimeters, to talk about our respective Big Brother fandoms or lack thereof. Bryce, talk to me about your history with Big Brother so far.
I feel like, Big Brother is always watching me. I feel like it's cameras everywhere. I feel like that's my extent of Big Brother. I always try to watch Big Brother every year, and it just always messes with me that it come on 3 times a week, and they got live feeds. So that's where I'm at with it. So I am a casual Twitter follower is kind of how you would say it.
I mean, to be fair, some people actually stop watching the show proper to just follow along on Twitter. So some perspective, you might be more of a fan of Big Brother than some people that are just investing in a certain part of the show.
Okay. Is that 3 points right there?
I'll go to a ghost 3 points. Kudos to you.
Listen to Shannon. When he talking to you, you get 3 points.
I came up with the point system and the idea to make it a game. I feel like I should get 3 points to begin with.
If he gets 3 points, can I get 1 pity point just from that?
Well, Shannon, for your 3 points, what's your history with Big Brother?
So I've never watched an episode ever. I think as well because I feel like I can't watch it to its full extent. Being in Australia, there's no way I can keep up with the live feeds, and I don't like doing things in a casual way, and I don't know why I agreed to do this podcast. But I've never watched it. I feel like I do keep up on Twitter, so I might have a good sense of the recent players based on like just hearing from the community on Twitter. I also watched the reality battle Amazing Race, so I feel like I might know a couple of people there. And I might just know legends again from the community. I'm interested because I feel like I could do pretty well, but maybe that'll be ridiculous. And I kind of like have the broken telephone version of people. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, Nick, what's your telephone status? Are you just getting static or are you picking up any noise?
Well, like I was a huge fan of Australian Big Brother back in the day. So I reckon we had about 10 or so seasons of that. And I used to love watching, but it was very different to the American Big Brother rules. It was all about getting voted in by the fans and basically winning that way. And then when they relaunched Big Brother Australia this year, it was just finished actually, they've tried to adopt like an American style. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try and watch that because a lot of our producers from Survivor went and did it. And I just couldn't even keep up with that. So if I can't even keep up with Australian Big Brother, there's no chance that I was ever going to keep up with American Big Brother. But the one thing that I have seen was the celebrity version that had Candy in it, because you all know I'm a huge Housewives fan. Bryce, you know this, okay?
Yes.
So I had to follow up with Candy, and I watched that season. I was like, what the hell is this show? Like, they had little keys and things that they were spinning, and it was just like, yeah, it was great.
Spoiler alert for The Masked Singer, Nick, but have you watched the season that Candy was on very recently?
Yeah. No, I heard she
spoiler,
won or something, didn't she? Oh.
I mean, listen, it's months old at this point. She won The Masked Singer last season.
Yeah, it's hard with The Masked Singer. You can't watch because you like someone because you don't know.
Yeah,
it's kind of a flaw in the
system.
But
with Candy, I felt like Candy has that, like, you know, she has that, like, above all the hate, she has that very distinct tone. So the whole time I'm like, this is Candy.
Oh, you could tell? Okay, yeah.
For me, I had no idea the frog was Bow Wow. Now that tripped me out a little bit. Okay, I was like, what? The whole time, my mom thought that he was like going to be like a white country singer. And I was like, that's what you are getting, Barb?
Interesting.
And it turned out to be Bow Wow. But can I ask a real question? Because I heard Shannon say this twice. Legends. So on this Big Brother All-Star, there aren't going to be like some people that have played Big Brother. They're just going to be legends.
So the people who are going to be playing the game they sort of range, as with any All-Star season, from like big names.
Okay.
I meant like I know like big, like I know like I would hope the Boston Rob equivalent of Big Brother. I actually don't know who that would be. Who would that be, Mike? Who would be the Boston Rob equivalent?
They might be in this cast, so I will keep my lips sealed like the keys that Nick saw on Celebrity Big Brother and confused him. Speaking of confusion, let's get into it, shall we?
Just one more question. Is this cast kind of like Australian Survivor All-Stars, where there's like some All-Stars and some people that you're just like, wait, what? Like,
Nick, don't say that about yourself. You had
everyone. I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, I mean, to answer your question, it is a returning player season of a reality show, yes, in that there are big players that people are looking to see back. There are interesting names that people are like, oh, didn't expect to see them, but that'd be fun. And there are some that you're like, huh. Yeah, and I'll hopefully what will happen is, as I reveal these people and talk about the points, I can give a quick sort of summary about their game, mostly because I want to see you guys react to some of the most ridiculous twists that Big Brother has thrown out there. Because these people have succumbed to them.
So just before you start, I should not be preparing to like see Celine Dion because she is a legend.
Celine Dion is not going to be on Big Brother.
Okay.
Oh, I wish. My God, the concert she would give for her nomination speeches. I'd be living for it. Well, our heart will go on without Celine this season. But again, so I'm gonna show a picture. You're back.
Okay.
So I'm gonna show a picture. You're gonna tell me who it is and what they did. Let's see how good of a guesser you are. All right. So, Nick, who's this, and what did they do?
Okay, he looks like some cheesy ass telenovela star. Or do you know what he looks like? He looks like on Desperate Housewives. the what's her name? Eva Longoria's husband in Desperate
Carlos.
Housewives. Carlos. He looks like Carlos. I'm gonna say his
this
name's
is already
Carlos.
worth the price of admission, by the way. We're one guest in, and I'm already here. But Nick, what did Carlos do to earn his way onto the season?
I reckon he was like a real evil person, and was like a real villain. And I reckon he's from like a real early season, judging by those like awful pants and that terrible goatee. So like, I'm gonna say he's from like the year 2002, and he was like the original villain, but like by today's standards, not actually a villain. And
Why are you describing yourself?
Yeah,
He sees himself in everybody.
Cheesy AF, yeah.
So he's really early on in the franchise, he's a villain, but not really a
called a
villain,
snake,
totally
even if-
misunderstood.
He didn't deserve to be one. All right, Bryce, who do you think this is?
He looked like one of the Isley brothers' cousins. So I don't know if y'all know who the Isley brothers are, but I don't know. I'm gonna say his name is Isaac. He works in corporate America. Okay, he tried out on his lunch break. Okay, because he got his work pants on and his slacks, and they just took this photo real quick.
And he had his tie on originally, and they were like, "Hey, why don't you freshen it up?
You gotta loosen up, okay?" So, and then he's giving this real smug look like, listen, my lunch is only 30 minutes. I got to get back.
All right. And so how did he get onto All Stars? What did he do?
Again, he definitely was from an early season, and I feel like he was up for elimination early and got HOH and got a big person out.
Okay. Classic case of HOH-itis. Shannon, what do you think?
Okay, I will agree. Obviously, early season, so he must be a big character because, like, I feel like you wouldn't get a small character from the if they're going to be a kind of question mark, maybe it's from a more recent season. So he's definitely a villain. I'm going to say he's a poker player who went really far, kind of backstabbing people, but didn't win. He's not a winner, and his name is Rob.
Oh. Wait. Is this that evil dick guy that follows me on Twitter?
Even follows you on Twitter? I don't know who he is.
I don't know.
That is not evil dick.
That's not evil dick.
Is it? Okay,
I would die if he was on like the most recent season.
No. So you actually were all really correct on one thing. He is from a very early season. He's in fact from the earliest season of any of these contestants. He's all the way back in season 6, which happened in 2005. This man's name is Kaysar Ridha. So I'm going to give
Isaac, you said?
Yeah, well, I'm going to give 3 points to Bryce because the thing is, for all the assessments of Kaysar being evil, what if I were to tell you he is one of the most universally liked Big Brother players of all time?
Really?
So are the Isley brothers.
So basically,
no one who's nice has a goatee.
So basically,
I've seen Return of Jafar. Like, if you've got a goatee, you're a bad person.
So basically what happened was in his original season, season 6, it was actually very Survivor-like in that there were 2 big warring alliances, and Kaysar was one of the leaders of the Underdog Alliance. So he was viewed as extremely popular. He got evicted once, and then there was a fan vote to bring someone back into the house, and he won with like 82% or something.
Oh, cool.
And then he basically did you remember in like Survivor Micronesia when they had to hold their hands above tied to the bucket, and Jason Siska's like, oh, if you I'll give immunity to you if you don't vote me out. He basically did that and then got voted out right again. So he is someone who a lot of people are very excited to see. He's very brainy. He's got a great head for the game. He's very nice. He's also the first Muslim contestant to ever play on Big Brother, which was freaking awesome, especially back in 2005.
Yeah, 2005, yeah.
Yeah, and so he came back. Season 7 was All Stars. He came back the very next season. Unfortunately, has never made the jury either time, has missed out both times. I believe he was voted down on his birthday both times as well.
Jeez.
So I am going.
Happy birthday.
So I am going to give. I'm going to give 3 points to Bryce, obviously, for not saying he was evil incarnate. I'm going to give 2 points to Nick because Shannon, you said that he was going to go far and won, and he did, or go far at least, and he did neither. So
I don't think we should make this into a game. It doesn't really make sense as a game.
Girl.
2 is on the other foot. All right.
I don't like being bad at things.
Well, let's see if you can
Can someone just give me a goatee update? Does he still have that goatee?
Well, I mean,
I don't think he does. I don't believe
Okay.
that he does. I believe he's clean shaven now.
Awful.
And he's
Gotta
a
go.
father.
Oh.
He'll also be coming, if he's coming back for the first time to Big Brother in 14 years. And so it'll be
Wow.
very interesting to see one of the most popular players in Big Brother history actually come back. Though again, he also played during a time when the show was very, for lack of a better term, more serious, took itself more seriously.
Okay.
So I will be intrigued to see how he handles the wacky antics that modern Big Brother is, that I'm sure we'll get into with these people.
Sounds
But
fun.
Bryce, does the goatee, does that work for like the Zaddy calendar?
I mean, it does actually. He's giving me very zaddy in the face. Now we haven't seen him in 14 years, so he actually might have a zad bod. So we got to see a more current photo. But I mean, as of right now, I mean, I'll take a lunch break with him. So I mean,
Ty and all. Well, actually, I think, Bryce, you also get points because I believe it recently came out that so he played on a season initially where there were pairs of people, sort of like a blood versus water thing, but they were secret pairs. And he played with a friend, and the friend was the one who really auditioned for Big Brother and like, okay, do you know anybody who would want to play with you? And he's like, okay, I guess I've called it my friend Kaysar. So that's how Kaysar got onto Big Brother.
He's got a cool name as well, Kaysar.
yes.
All right, next up here.
Oh,
Shannon, who's this? And what did they do?
I know this person. I'm going to get 3 points. I'm pretty sure that's David.
Okay.
I shouldn't go first because I know I'm going to get it right.
Okay.
Okay.
This is reason, right?
All right. Well, then I'll put a pause on your reasoning and have these two guys guess beforehand. So yes, David is the correct answer. So we'll wipe the slate clean on that. Nick, what do you think
I like
David?
this game.
What do you think David did to be an all-star?
Okay, I think he looks like he's a lot of fun, goofy. Like he kind of reminds me of perhaps like a children's entertainer, like TV show entertainer. Like, because maybe that's just because that's all I watch nowadays with my daughter. He reminds me of someone from like the Australian Play School. So like super fun. I reckon that what he did was, I reckon he went really far and was like the robbed guy, like the guy who was supposed to win and then got screwed over like third, fourth. I don't really know how it works in Big Brother. Is that how it works? You can make it far and get screwed? I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I reckon
people
he's
do
that
come
guy.
in. It's a final two, so people do also come in third and fourth on Big Brother.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
What do you think there's like a mass elimination at like 6 and then someone just wins?
Well,
Like,
listen, I don't know. Nick actually watched Celebrity Big Brother where they did that at the end.
Yeah, that's,
okay.
So as in like someone who just kind of got part of this kind of mass culling just before the end and like should have won or something.
All right, Bryce, what do you think David did?
I think David did an amazing Carlton Banks impersonation and did the it's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Do. And they fell in love with him, and he made it really, really far, but then turned out to be a snake and turned on his alliance, and then so I think he made it far, turned on his alliance, and then it didn't work out for him.
All right, Shannon. Now, what do you authentically remember about, or what do you think you know about David's time on his previous season or seasons?
All right, from Twitter, I think this was last year from memory. It's been a long year, so I can't work out exactly when but I think this was last year. He was first boot, like really early on, and I remember that because there were those images that they'd photoshopped him in to be in the cast images, and he like clearly was photoshopped, and everyone was like, he's clearly not there anymore. This was like even before the feeds were on, and then he came back because there was like a comeback thing, and then he got voted out again. But people thought he had a lot of potential, and that's why he's an all-star.
Wait, they take the cast photo once someone's already been voted out?
Yeah,
so
and then they edited him in, but he was like clearly on the outs, and he was like.
So what happened was they usually do the cast photos about like 2 or 3 days into the show because they don't want to reveal like who else, because they all do it in the backyard. So it's like they don't want the others to see who's playing with each other. And so David was somebody who like night one, there was a camp theme and they anointed somebody a camp counselor who got to banish 4 people from the house. And those 4 people had to compete in a challenge, and the person who lost the challenge was eliminated. And the challenge was like they were like in a dark room crawling through a bunch of gunk, and poor David ends up finishing in last place. But to Shannon's point, David entered something called Camp Comeback. Camp Comeback, plug your ears, everybody, was the edge of extinction of Big Brother.
I was promised that would not be mentioned on this podcast.
Where they lived in the house. They couldn't vote. They couldn't compete in challenges, but they were still there. And then at some point, they competed to get back into the house. And so David essentially was there for the first month of the game, despite, as his title evolves here, being 16 out of 16 at the end of the day. So yeah, this is a weird choice. A first boot might be on an all-star season, but to Shannon's point, a lot of people saw, like, when David was out of the competition, he had like a lot of observations. There was this big alliance that nobody was really noticing except for him. He was very perceptive. And so people, I think, are looking for him to get a second chance. I think the question is whether or not he should get one on a season called Big Brother All-Stars.
See, I don't hate that though.
So was he? So he was living in the house with everyone else.
Yep, and
They had to wear uniforms, right?
yeah, as part of Camp Comeback, they had to wear like Boy Scout uniforms.
Oh.
What the hell is this?
Were they
show?
shorts or like regular?
They were actually. I'm trying to remember how short the shorts were because I think David.
Yeah, if you knew you were coming on a podcast with Bryce, why would you not know how short?
Research short length.
I will research the short length because David.
And with Nick,
I know that the king of wearing mini shorts.
David's a very attractive man, so I'm sure they might have cut some stuff up in wardrobe just to make sure that he was wearing short shorts. So,
but I like that though, because if you think he has potential, he seems to have been royally screwed. Bringing back early boots that have potential, as we know, would be great. Like, I mean, I get that it's all stars, but do they have a lot of like second chance seasons? Bring him back. Why not?
Preach.
I was gonna say, Bryce, David sort of is paving the runway here for you right now.
Hello. And
so we want Dave to win so that it's like signals to people, hey,
this could be.
Yeah, this might be the casual cast assessment's pick to win, just based on that alone, as to what it could do for the future of CBS reality TV. So
I'm rooting for David and nothing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Lock
so
it in.
I gave 3 points. I'm surprised Nick's rooting for somebody named David after everything that he experienced on Australian Survivor. But we have so I'm going to give obviously 3 points to Shannon. I'm going to give 2 points to Nick because Bryce, you said that David made a heel turn and turned evil, and he did not. Many people loved David by the time that he left.
What I meant by the heel turn was that, he was in the house observing things. And,
No.
Are you keeping score of this on like a piece of paper? Because
I am. We're tied 4 points apiece with everybody.
Wait, what's his job? What's his job?
He is a photographer, not a children's entertainer.
He's not on Play School? Okay.
Yeah. I'm excited for all of Nick's observations to be like 2-year-old, 1-year-old friendly.
This person, I believe he constructs wooden toys.
All right. Shannon, who is this?
Oh.
I don't know this person, so they're not recent.
That's why I went to you for this one.
I think her name is Robin.
Okay. And what did Robin do to make it onto All Stars?
I'm not getting a lot. Okay, so she's misunderstood. She's mid-jury. She's also roughly season 10-ish. Give or take a couple of seasons.
What season are we up to now? What's All Stars?
22.
Okay.
Great. Thank you for clarifying that. I also, but she misunderstood, but time has been kind to her. Like at the time, it was like, oh, she's a bitch. But now we realized she was actually just a strong woman.
Oh.
And she was just playing the game, And in 2020, that would go better than whenever season 10 was. I have nothing else for Robin.
For Robin.
All right, Bryce, what do you got?
Sasha Fierce. And she's also giving me like Abby Maria Gomez vibes of Big Brother. I get that she is very she's attractive, but I also get that, yes, she has a side. And I'm getting that because she got the yellow dress on and I can look at her fingers, her toes, not her toes.
Her hands, toes.
What do you have?
Her hands. It looks like she got like black and white checker polka dots, and that just lets me know she don't play. So I feel like sometimes she's nice and sometimes she's not. And I feel like that somebody pissed her off in the house. She was trying to go to sleep. They tried to take a blanket, and she's like, "Why are you taking my blanket?" And then she went off, and they didn't like it. But I like her, so I'm going to go with her name, Sasha Fierce.
All right, and Nick?
Okay, I'm going to say her name is Kerry, because she reminds me of Kerry Russell with her curly hair. And I think that she is like a super, super smart person. So like she's like secretly smart and like maybe she's like some sort of like engineer or a professor or some sort of doctor something or other, and like either people didn't know or it didn't come through how smart she was until afterwards. And now, like Shannon said, with hindsight, everyone's like, oh man, we need to see what she is now that everyone knows how smart she is. That's what I reckon.
What about a pediatrician, Nick?
Mm-hmm. Yep, pediatrician.
Treating one-year-old
exclusively
girls.
in 2-year-olds. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is Amber.
Oh.
But of course, it's an all-star season. We've got to have an Amber on it. Amber is from season 16. She placed in 12th. And as Survivor fans, she actually has a bit of a Survivor link because this was the original the original person who drew the eye of one beast mode cowboy, Mr. Day 9 himself, Caleb Reynolds.
Okay, extra points, bonus points. He was really creepy with her, and yet the show's always been kind to Caleb and never given her justice.
That's accurate. So basically, Caleb was really into Amber. Caleb and Amber were brought into the same alliance from the beginning, but he was very creepy with her. He was very adamant about pursuing her, and she was very much not about that. So just due to the sort of the calamity that the two of them that they were causing, the alliance ended up siding with him above her, thought she was too big of a threat, and ended up booting her out of the alliance and in about week 5 or so. So unfortunately, that's the story of Amber. I think Shannon and Nick, you both make great points in that I would not say she's somebody that's like, wow, in retrospect, Amber really was, really underrated. But I think Amber is somebody sort of like David that we just spoke about, who kind of got a raw deal in that she never really got a fair shot, considering she was basically being pursued by this Pepe Le Pew guy in a cowboy hat the entire time. And so I think, as weird as it is to see her on a season like this alongside some of the people that we're going to talk about, I'm excited that she gets a legitimate chance to quote unquote play her own game amidst some other, bad circumstances her first time out.
What does 12th place get you day-wise on the Big Brother?
It gets you about 5 weeks in, 5 or so weeks in. And these are also seasons that last like 90 something days in the modern day. So like she basically made it like a third of the way into the game day-wise. That's
like similar to Australian Survivor. You came 11th and you were about 5 weeks in your first season, Nick, right? So yeah. Time-wise, I was also going to ask, has the show, I know they haven't released a full cast, have they considered releasing half the cast 4 months early and then never the rest of the cast, having it spoil the season?
If only they had people locked in at that point, Shannon. I think they would have loved to reveal even 3 people in the cast before the actual day itself. But unfortunately, it leaves us in the situation we're in now. So I'm going to give...
Was she smart? What's her job like?
Yeah, I'm gonna give Nick the 3 points here because I think that she wasn't like a pediatrician, but I do think she was someone that was targeted. She did win a good amount of competitions. I think some people thought she was threatening, and so because I believe actually her position at the time, I think she was a model. So I think I think people maybe underestimated her in that regard. I'm going to give Shannon 2 points. And unfortunately, Bryce, as much as the Abby Maria gets his blanket stolen from her scenario is, I'm going to have to give you the 1 point here.
Okay.
Still.
Well, I've learned from Mike's B&B predictions. You want to be vague. Like, you don't want to go super specific.
No, it's funny to be specific.
No, the more specific you go, the better it is, in my opinion.
Because the thing is, if you get even one super specific thing right, you should get like 10 points. If there was a blanket fight, I would be okay with you getting like 7 bonus points. But the odds of it being correct are so low.
But it sounds like Caleb was trying to take her blanket. So I mean,
she was trying to take something. Yeah, he was trying to share a blanket with her. She had nothing with it. All right, and luckily no beast mode cowboy in this cast, so we will move on from that. Bryce, who's this?
Oh, mind you, she looked like somebody at my job named Lisa. So
I can see Lisa.
All right, what did Lisa do to get onto Big Brother All Stars?
Lisa is giving me, I mean, I don't know, but she from like Massachusetts or like Maine or New Hampshire. Lisa looks like that she didn't play nice all the time, not in a bad way, like that she meant business. And that's all I could get from Lisa.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Good.
Nick, what are you thinking?
Okay, I reckon that she is she's got a kid or 2.
And she's someone you would meet at the
children's bar
when you're seeing Amber the pediatrician.
No, and I
Nick,
say
you
that
need to get
because
out.
she's.
You're fine.
I need to get out of the house. I know, but no. The reason I say that is because she looks like someone who like you would expect from their bio to be like soft, like I'm a mom, blah blah. But I reckon that she's like fierce, like super fierce. She's not afraid to tell you where to go, what who she's really, really going to push for what she wants. I think that she got screwed because of it. And I think that she is someone who, she's got all these like little bracelets on. She's got that bird ring. I reckon that like she could punch you in the face and like leave an imprint in your forehead. Like, so like, I think that she's like one of those ones who like, maybe you at first you think that she's just a sweet mum, but she's like a kick-ass boot camp mum or something like that.
And what's her name?
I think her name is Janelle.
Okay,
Janice.
I think her name is Janice.
Jeanette.
Jeanette.
This is the famous survivor, the Big Brother Janelle, is it?
All right, Shannon.
Is there a
what about
Janelle?
you?
Oh, this is gonna get fun. All right, this woman's name, I think, would be Kelly. I think she was Mrs.
Kelly's
Nice.
a good guess.
Not Mrs. Nice Girl, but she was nice. Like, I think she's Miss Congeniality. I don't think she had a harsh side. I think she's like very airy fairy. Like, I see the bird ring, but I don't see her punching someone in the face.
You're not looking hard enough, Shannon.
Maybe. And I don't want that to surprise me, but I feel like she just is the sweetest. Maybe didn't make a huge mark on the game, but was kind of just generally beloved. Didn't bring the strategic chops, but the fans just kind of love her.
All right. Well,
can I add before you say I because now that y'all do say that, I'm getting into her bracelets. I definitely get she is like not earthy, but very spiritual. She lights incense and sage and like does yoga and like
good. Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from Lisa.
Are you getting that she would punch someone in the face? With
No.
Oh, guys, come on.
No.
Who is she punching in the face? I'm gonna be mad if she does.
Well, we mentioned one of Nick's devotees, Evil Dick. This is his daughter, Danielle Donato. Danielle played her original season back in season 8 when she was 20 years old, turned 21 in the house, played alongside her father. They were a duo together.
Oh, in that duo season. Okay.
Played. It was a weird season where like half of them, like there were only 3 pairs and they were rivals. And the rivals ranged from Danielle and Dick, who were estranged father and daughter, a pair of ex-boyfriends, and a pair of ex-high school friends where one owed the other one $5, and that was their beef. So
that is so unfair compared to an estranged father and
Right.
daughter. That sounds like some serious stuff.
well, that being said, the estranged father and daughter made it to the final 2, where Danielle won I think 7 competitions in her season or something. But I think due to maybe the way she was perceived and her age, she ended up losing. She then comes back 5 years later. There was another duo season where they brought back 3 pairs of people from seasons past, whether it's like showman's pairs or in this case, Danielle and her father. Her father ends up leaving early. He ends up walking out of the house due to medical conditions, and she ends up lasting a good way into the game and taking out. She turns on the other vets and takes them out along the way. So that being said, I'm going to give 3 points to Nick because if she's known for anything, it is her fierceness.
Did she punch anyone?
She did not punch anyone, but she said she talked a lot of crap about people that was almost like verbal bird punches, if those were a thing. And so I think she's someone who is very much known for not mincing words, and that worked both for her and against her. But it definitely won favor with the fans. I'm gonna give 2 points to Bryce because Shannon mentioning Miss Congeniality. She unfortunately was not necessarily that in either one of her seasons. She's a very great person. And Nick, you ironically mentioned the fact that she is a mom. She is a mom now. She was not a mom when this picture was taken.
Okay, whoops, sorry.
Well, so Evil Dick won.
Yes.
Why did he block me on Twitter? Why did Big Brother I don't know who this person is. I don't know he was a winner, and he blocked me.
He used to message me after my first season. I don't remember what it was about.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know who it was until someone mentioned him 5 months later. I was like, "Who's Evil Dick?" Okay, I'll try to find it.
Maybe it was a different Evil Dick.
By season 13, were her and Evil Dick still estranged?
So they had temporarily made bonds, and then by the time they got into season 13, she was not talking with him again, and then they made up again, and now they're no longer talking again as she's going into her third season. So it's been
her.
I mean, yeah, it's been very contentious. I think knowing what we know about Evil Dick now.
I muted him.
Why?
I don't know. I think it was. I don't know. It must have been ages ago.
You wanted to remain a Big Brother casual, and so you didn't want to get too much intel. You knew this podcast was coming.
Okay, I'll unmute and try to find the messages. Continue. Sorry.
Oh.
Retweet something, and I'll click on it. It'll be like, you're blocked. I'm like, why?
And Evil Dick is a little quick on the trigger when it comes to the block button.
There's no way. Like, I don't know what I could have done to offend him. I just don't understand.
Let me see if I'm blocked.
Because apparently he blocked a lot of RHAP people. That's what Josh Wigler told me. He also got blocked. Yeah.
Yeah, so we shall see if the blocking continues with Dick's daughter playing this season. Despite the relationship, it will be interesting to see exactly what happens. But Danny Donato is somebody that a lot of people are very excited to see come back and see if she can continue her reign of sassiness and her catchphrase "shocker." And yes, that is her catchphrase.
That's a shocker of a comment.
All right.
But yeah, I think his messages have been disabled, so I can't find them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that'll forever be a mystery. The sordid tales of Nick Udance and Evil Dick. Nick and Dick. All right. Well,
that's a children's show.
Yeah. Well, Nick, on that note, who is this?
All right. She's a preschool teacher. No, just joking. Okay, her name is Carly.
I actually totally vibe with that.
Yeah, her name is Carly. I think she works in like social media or like digital production of like, marketing, something like that. She's really fun. But I also think that she was like, people in the show didn't like her because she was annoying. And then, but then when she came out, like she had all these like stans. Like I reckon she has like a whole subsection of Twitter who like Yas Queen her because she's super fun, and her name's like Carly or Carrie or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Bryce.
And I bet you she brought in like lots of zany clothes, like head scarves and things.
Mm-hmm. All right, Bryce, what are you thinking?
I don't know. I feel like I've seen her before. I don't know if like she's on the same season as like Meg Malley. I don't know. I've seen her photo before. I'm gonna go with Molly.
Meg Molly.
She is. I get very quirky from her. I get very fun. I get very pleasant. I feel like she definitely was in a strong alliance. I feel like she made it somewhat far due to the alliance that she was with. That's all I got.
All right. And Shannon, do you know this one?
Yes. She played last year. She came third or fourth. Her name is Nicole. She was beloved. Like everyone hated the season and everyone in it. Was it last year or the year before?
It was last year.
Okay, it was last year. And everyone hated the season except her. She was like the bright spot in the season. She was really kind. She was almost like too kind. And it was not good for gameplay, but it was good for her ethics. And people loved her. Twitter loves her. Taryn loved her. People were really upset that she didn't win, but she was like a bright, shining light in the season. And I'm pretty sure she is a teacher.
Yeah, she is a school aide. So, Nick, it could have for once worked out for you. But yes, this indeed is Nicole Anthony, who is one of many people in this cast who won fan favorite. So in Big Brother, if you don't know, the viewers vote at the end of the season for their favorite house guest, and the person who wins the favorite house guest receives $25,000.
Wow.
And so Nicole won that. As Shannon said, she is super kind, super sweet. She nearly went in the first few weeks because the big alliance thought they caught her in a lie, and there's this really ugly scene where they were all up in an HOH room like chanting about how they're done with her shit and how they're going to get rid of her. Somebody diagnosed her as a sociopath for some demented reason, but she was able to rally and recover, and she made a pretty strong push for the end, but she didn't win the competition she needed to get into the finale, and so she finished in third. But to Nick's point, to rapturous applause. So by default, I got to give Shannon 3 points, but Nick, for being, pretty close as well, I'm going to give you 2 points, and so Bryce, unfortunately, you get the one by default.
This makes sense. We're giving 3 anyway. That's fine.
All right. Well, Bryce,
Oh.
who is this?
So he reminds me of the short guy from last season, but I know that's not because I think his name was Frank. I don't know. He's giving me very Adam Kleinish of Big Brother. I don't know. I want to say that people liked him. He reminds me, he's giving me very Ramsey. I don't know. I don't know who this man is. If I saw him today, I would know. I feel sorry for this man. No, that's my name. Kiki Palmer Russian. I don't know, but I get young. He was on somewhat of a recent season, and he made it middle of the road.
Okay. Do you have a name for him?
Christian.
Christian. Okay.
He's
Shannon.
like Adam Klein Christian. I think I know who this is.
Well,
Okay. Well,
Okay.
then I'll punt to Nick here.
But okay, you go.
okay. So surely this is from a long time ago because people don't wear those jeans nowadays.
You a lie. Okay, you a lie.
I definitely wore those jeans in high school and college.
Yeah, right. Like that's from a long time ago. Surely, like
The 80s though, like
Yeah, I don't know. I think today is all about like legs having definition. You know,
Yeah,
like I do feel
yeah.
like unless you're on the construction site, you're not wearing baggy
Like-
jeans anymore.
they're
I
like
need Bryce's opinion on this.
they're like flares. They like go out.
I mean,
Even-
but some people don't like the skinny jeans, so I feel
Oh,
like
wait, there's skinny jeans and then there's like tent pants. Like he's got like that. So I reckon this is something that I would have worn in high school too. So I'm going to say 2005, something like that. 2004. I reckon his name is Carl or no, I'm going to go Timothy because he looks like a Timothy that I went to school with. And I reckon that he works in something that's like his job is the gag. Like there was a guy on Australian Big Brother years ago who was like, they called him like a supermarket checkout chick or something like that. And like, I reckon then everyone was like, oh, he's the ice cream scooper kind of thing with Eric. So I reckon that like he's got a menial job that like for some reason people made a joke out of when they really shouldn't have. And like he was all kind of underestimated because of that. But like, I also don't think he fits the super smart stereotype just because apparently in a reality show, if you're a young guy with glasses, you're super smart. I think that he is just like a funny, potentially quirky guy with awful genes.
All right, Shannon.
Okay, I think the thing is I've only like it's not my eyesight isn't the best. I think that's Ian Terry, maybe.
Oh, I've heard that name.
Okay, yeah, because I think I know the name and I would know a closer up photo. The genes have thrown me. I think that's Ian. I don't know anything about Ian other than to know like he's definitely rap kosher. You know, like he's a nerd. He's one of us. He's
Oh, I thought you meant he's like a
no.
rapper.
no. RHAP. He's not a
Big
rapper.
Jeans. His name's Big Jeans with his Z.
Big jeans, Carl.
Okay, Ian. I don't know. Did he win? Like he's a big name. He's a really big name. He's really nerdy and smart. Was he on Reality Game Masters? Like, I feel like I've seen him before. I'm gonna put his profession as chess player. I think he might have won. I think he might be a winner.
Yeah, Shannon, you were very close to the mark on pretty much everything. So yeah, we have a couple of winners on this season.
I
Right.
said Adam Klein.
Ian Terry ended up winning season 14. So Shannon, you're gonna get the 3 opposite. And he was on Reality Game Masters, and he does rap. He does rap kosher, both free verse and patter. Bryce, I'm gonna give you 2 because Nick said that he's not super smart, and he was definitely one of the brainier winners.
Okay.
He was somebody who, even after the show, was very much talking through his strategies. He would sit on the hammock all day and basically like ponder through strategies. Ian's a really interesting situation. I think he is currently the youngest Big Brother winner. He was an engineering student when he played, and this was a season that brought in several returning house guests as coaches to sort of like coach teams along. And Ian was sort of like the hapless kid that got brought under the wings of these returning players until a point where they wanted to get rid of him. He then won a bunch of competitions that kept him safe when they wanted to get rid of him. Then he sat next to the person, you probably know the name Dan Giesling. He will not be on this cast, but Dan is a former player in Big Brother Legend, and Dan had played a pretty relentless and aggressive strategic season, sat next to Ian, and in a bit of an upset, Ian ended up winning the season over Dan.
Right.
Why did you win?
It was a little bit like Dan had, soured a lot of people. He made a lot of betrayals, made a lot of promises, and then broke them. And Ian was sort of seen as like the hapless kid who might not have been in the know all the time, but at least he did not directly contribute to their betrayals like somebody like Dan. And so he was sort of seen as the lesser of two evils.
Okay. So were any of the people who were there as coaches, do they have any connection to people who are on this season?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And
So
I'll
that'll be
leave it.
fun.
And I'll leave it at that. We will certainly get to it. But yeah, Ian is not the last winner who's going to be here. He's someone who has always expressed wanting to come back. It was still a little surprising to see him back, but I'm excited to see what he can do. He is a winner, but he's not very recent. He played 8 years ago, and a lot has changed since then in his life. I think he's either a teacher now or like a consultant. So he has grown up a lot. He came in geeky with the tent pants, as you said, Nick, but had like a big geek glow up by the end of the season. So
Awesome.
who knows what he's going to bring here?
So he's no longer bagging bags at the grocery store, Nick.
Yeah, he's not grocery store Joe anymore. No quirky profession
I like
here.
his story. I think he sounds cool. I love that.
Yeah, I like Ian.
All right, let's move on here.
Oh.
Nick, who is this?
He looks like an Australian from the Gold Coast. Like he looks like someone that you would see on Australian Big Brother who had never seen the show before. And then like walking down the beach, someone was like, "Hey, do you want to apply for Big Brother?" And then he was like, "Sure, man." And then like did, and basically was like the guy who chastised, again, speaking from my own experience, chastised people for playing the game when really like he had no idea what the game was. So I reckon he's like a blow-in who kind of like became popular because he was funny and didn't realize that there is like a whole fandom around this show that he was either offending or tickling pink with his antics.
And
so much of what you say is like so much PTSD. Just
I know, it's
dripping
your
off.
autobiography.
You can feel it, can't you? Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting your bird knuckles on, ready to
I'm
punch
ready
him.
to punch it.
What's his name, Nick?
I reckon his name is
Sam.
Lee.
Sam Webb. No, I reckon he is. He's like a weird spelling, like Kane, but Kahnei. Something like that. I just chose the most Queensland, Gold Coast, Australia.
See that if his name is Carniex, like I do feel like Nick should get 10 extra points. If it is.
Well, I will remain mum until now. Bryce,
Okay.
who is this?
I don't know. Like Zach, Ryan.
Yes, that's a good.
Something like that. I don't know much about him, but I love his anklet. I like the fact that his shorts are above his knees. He's got curly hair. He's giving me surfer. So I really feel like he could have been in like a boys' alliance and could have dominated for a bit. But, I'm out of my realm with these big brothers. It's only like 2 big brothers I know, and I'm just waiting. And when I see them, I'm going to scream their name.
All right, and Shannon?
I know this person.
Girl, who don't you know at
Oh,
this
They're
point?
the old recent. Since I've
kick her off the podcast.
Yes,
We're
girl.
not-
Casual.
Yes,
I'm
that's
so
what
good
I
at being
wanna say.
casual.
Of
No,
course,
actually,
you have to be the most non-casual, on casual corner.
But then I'm failing at being casual. So who's really winning? Whoever wins loses is anyway.
It's like
The
golf.
point- you actually want the fewest points because otherwise you look like you cheated,
Yes,
which is
that's a
me.
good point.
Okay, this is recent. He's Tyler.
Mhm.
2 seasons ago, I know that he was in a showmance that still is ongoing. Also, if people are in a relationship, I will Instagram stalk them. So that's not on me. I'm just curious like that.
You say I
I'm-
Instagram stalk them.
But
That's
it ain't
not
on
me.
me.
But he's in. I want to see
I
if these
fall into the
relationships
feed.
last. Okay. He has beef with RHAP.
Does he? Why? Tell. Spill.
I think the tea is that so he came off the show. I might actually be completely misrepresenting it. This is unfortunate to kind of half know. So Mike's just like, what are you gonna say? He came off the show and people told him that that RHAP had been insulting to him and his girlfriend and said they were boring. And then he wouldn't do any press with RHAP, but actually the network had been really nice to him. Also, how biased
I feel like I've seen this on Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, what a cheater, Nick, that you might have anyway.
Okay. After you explain it to me, it potentially jogs a tiny memory.
So wait, I have more. He came second, and it was controversial, and he should have won. And he was the best player, and he was America's favorite player.
That is pretty much right on the money, Miss Gus, Mrs. Gus. He is indeed Tyler Crispen, second place on season 20. Tyler was the leader of his alliance known as Level 6. He was doing a lot of wheeling and dealing in the house. He did find a showmance with a lovely woman by the name of Angela. I'm not just saying that because that's the name of my wife. And I want to make sure somebody pulls that as a clip. And he ends up losing 5-4 to recent standout from the challenge. And once upon a time, someone that might have been on this season, Casey, he was super loyal to her, ends up losing votes in the end because people, while they acknowledge the fact that he played a strategic role in the game, they were not happy with the betrayals that he was making, and he sort of represented the opposition that helped to get them out. So it was a bit of a controversial loss, not as controversial as maybe some of the other ones, even like something like an Ian. But yeah, Tyler is back. I'm super excited. He is one of the best modern players that we have seen. And yes, indeed, Shannon, the smoke with RHAP is pretty much on the money for what you were saying.
So I thought Casey was on this season.
No, there might be her and Josh. There's a chance they might not be on due to some testing, I will say, and possible results from said testing.
Oh my God.
But then I also read from said testing that people had tweeted that the said testing was not real. So So I was confused by that. But I mean, I don't know.
Join the club. We're all a little confused.
Can I just ask about how? So did they get a whole bunch of people and they're just quarantining them, and then whoever is not positive for coronavirus is going in the house?
Kind of, yeah.
Just COVID.
I know. I was about to say, and that's not funny, but that's like kind of like
what the hell? Okay, can I just give you some insight, right? Just from my experience as a past player who returned, that like the community that you're part of former players, they are all thirsting to come back, and there's all this stuff, which is fine because to play again is fun. But like, could you imagine being someone who has waited for years to play again, and then all of a sudden you're in lockdown, you're in lockdown, and then just because you get, not just because, but because you get coronavirus, you can't do this thing that you've been like thirsting over for years. Like that is wacky and heartbreaking all at the same time.
I mean, wacky and heartbreaking is a great way to describe this preseason, which has just been a mess and a half. So yeah, I mean, there are rumors that certain people were in sequester, but now they're not. And then certain other people were brought into sequester. But to answer your question, they pretty much got a congregation of people, put them in sequester, did daily testing, still doing it up to this point because they're doing a live move-in on Wednesday. So one of the reasons why they're not revealing the cast is there's a chance they might not have the cast finalized until right before they go into the house.
Oh, geez. Okay.
This
sounds like a mess.
I mean, everything, like, we're doing sport here. I know that America's trying as well, and that's a mess too. Like, it's all day by day. Are people hopeful that the season is going to be finished to its conclusion? Like, yeah. There seems like there could be issues. I mean, they're
instituting, production has announced they're instituting certain stipulations to try to keep things as safe as possible. Our hope is that since, they're hoping for a shorter season, maybe something like 10 weeks instead of the usual like 12 or 13, just to hopefully keep everything in a nice little package and not have to prolong and increase the chances that something should happen that could cause a Big Brother Canada 8 situation where things get shut down halfway through.
Oh my God. This seems like rife with danger, but good on them for trying.
I also think, like I've said this before, I think that leaving your family now would be ridiculously hard. Like, anyway, it must be crazy to come out to the news, and there's been obviously history in Big Brother, what people have missed. But like the news changes every day so massively now in the world. Like, I can't imagine going into the house, not knowing if your family's okay, if your friends are okay, if your state or your country is okay. Like, that just to me would be like exceptionally hard.
For me, it'd be easy because I'd be tired of hearing all the crazy stuff. Like
that's fair.
That's
fair.
Yeah, I do think respectively there are some people that are like, well, listen, this will get me away from the news for a little bit.
No more doom scrolling. I actually kind of like that.
Surprisingly, so Tyler has said many times, including after the season, because he was again such a big standout, he only said he'd go back to play if his girlfriend would do it with him. She's not here. So
does he know that though?
That's the kind of thing I want to
separate lockdowns.
I mean, you'd imagine they talk to each other about playing, right?
No, as in like they both went into lockdown. I don't know how lockdown works.
I don't know how my
lockdown
works. She is consorting with other people right now, and not in that way, but she has been seen on social media. I'm surprised you haven't seen it, Shannon. But she's been hanging out with other people.
I'm not like daily
What?
stalking
As in,
these
like-
randoms.
As in, like, cheating on him.
No,
I'm so
just,
confused.
Nick, no.
don't
What
jump
does
to the word
consorting with
conclusion.
other people mean? That sounds
Just like
so
hanging
sexy.
out.
Hanging
That's
out.
not consorting.
Consorting is very like cloak and dagger sexy,
But
I think.
I feel like wouldn't that be like not a smart, like strategic standpoint to like only want to come back with your girlfriend? Like, wouldn't that make y'all like instant targets?
Yeah.
I reckon
Yeah.
that's something that you say publicly and then privately you hope that's something.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Well,
But
I mean,
yeah.
look, but he only came off the show like a year and a half ago. So how
Right.
long did he hold out? Immediately, like, he immediately went back.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give obviously 3 points to Shannon. I'm gonna give 2 points to Bryce because Nick, you talked about Kane, and you said that he knew nothing about the show, and he's actually probably one of the biggest super fans that was on his season, despite maybe his image tricking you about that. And he was actually able to use that to his advantage because everyone thought he was like dumb surfer bro when he really knew a lot about the game.
Good on you, Tyler. Like it. That's
All
good.
right, Shannon, do you know who this is?
I don't know. I'm 80%. 80%, I think.
Okay, would you prefer if I punt to somebody else first?
Yeah, go to someone else first, just in case I'm right.
All right, Bryce, who is this?
Why y'all ask me if I? Oh, you are asking me who it is. Oh, sorry. I'm going to say that she one of like the. So first of all, it's hard to tell whether or not this is an old or new photo. I'm going to go with rather new. I'm also going to go with she either is one of the big brothers that has crossed over to the challenge because this looks like a challenge photo to me. And if it's not the challenge, then she plays in the WWE because she's like very fit. And yeah, I'm going to go with her name is like Nick.
No.
I have to do the same thing.
I was trying to look. I was looking at the tattoo.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't look at. Okay, all I looked up and I just saw Nick's eyes, and they was like cross-eyed and going back and forth. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a small little picture.
I'm like trying to zoom right into the tattoo to see what it is. Okay, no, okay.
All right, Bryce, what's her name?
I don't. I want like I don't know why Alexis is coming to me, but I give like Alexis, a Carly, a Robin, a Canoe.
A canoe. Okay.
The female version is Canel.
All right, Nick. What do you think?
Okay, so I think that she is someone who is maybe been on Ninja Warrior as well, or one of those Ultimate Beastmaster shows because she looks jacked. I think that she's actually got like a real soft side because if you look at the tattoo, which is what I was doing, it looks like some sort of dancing princess
You like that.
with these like nice flowers and stuff. So I think that she's like one of those steel-coated marshmallow people that's kind of like that big tough exterior, but like super sweet, super nice. So I think her name is like Raquel, something like that. And I reckon that she is pretty recent, and I reckon she was someone who got was good in the challenges and then was removed because she was good in the challenges. They had to get rid of her, but actually like a super sweet person.
Okay, Shannon.
I think this is Christmas.
Oh.
And if it is Christmas, the only thing I know about her is that she's recent enough for me to vaguely know her, and she broke her foot.
And
then
this Christmas, she was on season 20
Well, yeah.
This is Christmas.
Okay.
She was on season 19.
Yeah, I'm not as plugged into the further back you go, the less plugged in I am.
So this is Christmas Abbott, and believe it or not, you want to guess what? Anyone want to guess what her middle name is?
Eve.
Easter.
You're so
Christmas
close.
Eve. Is
No,
it Eve?
It's
That would be
Christmas.
perfect.
Christmas Joy.
It should be Christmas Eve.
I mean, Christmas Joy is still pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is Christmas Abbott. So Christmas, to your guys' point, was like a fitness guru, CrossFit person. Ends up in the first week of the game is playing piggyback with a guy, not consorting, but just sort of like he was like a bucking bronco. She was a bucking bronco and trying to rein him in, and he lands on her and she breaks her foot.
Oh.
Legitimately breaks it in like 10 places.
Oh.
For some reason, they decide to keep her in. She nearly actually goes that that week. Like she was put up as, you know, a replacement nominee. She nearly goes, ends up staying due to the graces of Paul, who I'm sure you've heard about before. Paul was a big bearded,
I've
big,
seen that guy.
friendship guy. He ends up coming back in season 19.
Paul lost twice, 4 to 5, right?
Yes,
I feel like
he was the only.
That's crazy.
He was the only returnee in that house,
really?
and he ran the house, sort of like his own cult. And Christmas was one of his loyal lieutenants, boot and all. She had a little scooter that she used to get around the house, and she would, you know, stay loyal to him. She'd get into fights for him. He helped everyone throw a running race to her, so she won a challenge on 1 foot in a running race. And she ended up getting all the way to the end, and it was him and Josh. Josh won the final head of household and chose to eliminate Christmas, feeling that people would be burned by Paul and he would win. Josh was correct. So yeah, Christmas, unfortunately, it's so interesting because Christmas, as you said, looks like one of the most physical specimens we've ever seen on the show, and had that immediately taken away from her. Not to mention, she was like hopped up on pain medication the entire time. One time she had to cast a vote by phone because she was in the hospital for surgery, and we think she may have voted for the wrong person because she was so drugged up.
Oh my God.
Hold on, that doesn't seem like
Wait,
fair.
they let her go to the hospital and have surgery and stay in the game?
Yes, they did.
Why? What was their
I mean, they never faced this situation before, and people have like had injuries previously and have stayed in, but nobody, you know, this wasn't life-threatening or anything. She didn't have like an allergic reaction, but I guess they felt it was appropriate enough to have her, as long as she was like blindfolded and taken to the hospital and put under high security.
That sounds horrific.
She could leave the house, get surgery, and then come back, and she did.
Right.
So no one's ever been medevaced from the show.
No one has ever. No one's ever been. No one's ever. There was actually in Big Brother 9. There was a bad incident where like 2 people had different. One person had like an epileptic fit, and at the same time another one had like an allergic reaction to something. And so there were people just running around, chaos all the time. But someone has yet to be removed from the Big Brother house for like, I don't know. Like the only reason would be like if you had like your hand cut off. You know, if you had to seek like immediate medical attention, that's the only reason why they would legitimately pull you from the game and keep you for a large portion of time.
Didn't you say Dick was left because of health? Oh, there's more like ongoing health.
Yeah, he walked. It was less so about like people saying you can't be in the game. It's more so him being like, I discovered this. But yeah, so Christmas is somebody who, you know, Nick, you bring up an interesting point, and I'm going to give you the 2 points because she is somebody who like she said that her plan is to kill them with kindness. She ended up being less so. And again, that's also dependent on like the situation she was in. She had also just broken up an engagement before going into the house. And like, she was pining a bit. She was pining a bit for Paul. She definitely was feeling a bit of like, for lack of a better term, a little bit of like Stockholm syndrome, a bit of like Beauty and the Beast type of thing of like, he's my, he's my closest ally and I'm seeing something in him. But, you know, as soon as she left the house, she ended up going out to different things. Seems like her foot is healed. So that's perfect for her to actually come back now and prove she can be the physical presence that she obviously was not in season 19, even though, again, she won a running race on 1 foot because everyone threw the challenge to her.
And just one last question. What's the story behind her name? Is that her real name?
That is her real name. I don't know. I don't know whether her parents are like holiday freaks or thought it would be funny. But yeah, this is like her legitimate name is Christmas.
Maybe she was born on Christmas.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe she was.
Maybe she was born on Easter and they wanted to be surprising.
She was born on December 20th.
So close enough. They probably her due date, the mom's due date. They probably gave her the 25th, and they was.
My daughter's due date was Christmas Day. Thank God she did not come on Christmas Day. But yeah, we would never.
And you didn't even call her Christmas. Do you even love your child?
All right, cool. Let's move on here.
I know. Okay, you ain't even asked me. That's Coco. I know that. That's Coco. She with what's his name? Vince, with whatever their name is, because I got an invitation to the wedding.
Victor.
That's Coco. She got a podcast. She won. Boom. Give me the 3 points.
No, I got more. I can do more than that.
Hi, this is Mike. Nick, you're next. Go ahead.
Good impression.
have-
It's a really great impression.
I think it's just a fait accompli that I'm going to get 1 point in this round, and I would like to earn a point by doing absolutely nothing, so I'm not going to say anything.
See,
Well,
the
back to me.
point doesn't make sense.
Back to me. She had an all-girls alliance.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I just made that up. She had an all-girls alliance. She actually was hooking up, or she was talking to somebody else on that season. She had a showmance that was not Victor. Her and Victor got together. She got podcasts, and that's all I know. But I know that's Coco. Oh my God, I know somebody. Where is that? Okay.
I think I could beat Bryce.
No,
Okay, I like this. I like this.
And I'm going to be very overcritical about everything that you say. So go ahead.
What? Well, you didn't even give her first name.
Okay, listen.
He said Coco, isn't her name?
It's a
Coco?
nickname. It's a nickname.
What's her real name?
Georgina.
Girl,
You don't know her actual name? I'm getting 3 points.
No, you're
Wait, hold
not.
on.
No.
Can I give my 1 point to Bryce so he gets 3 points? as
No,
well?
it's gonna be 4. It don't matter. What her Instagram name is Coconuts or Coco.
I know her name.
Okay.
Nicole.
What's the name of the podcast? What's the name of her podcast?
Coco Caliente or something.
Is the podcast?
Isn't that it? Is that it, Mike? Mike, is that it?
Wait, that's her full name, Coco Caliente?
Her name is Nicole.
No,
Bryce.
podcast is named Coco Caliente. Her name is not Coco Caliente.
I was gonna be like, now wait a minute.
Now, listen, I think if people are looking to get into a certain industry, I think we found a new name for them, Coco
my
Caliente.
So she was on The Amazing Race. So I already watched her in like a whole season of something with Victor. I really liked Victor. She was fine. So she won. She won against. She was the first one who won against Paul, and it was controversial. He should have won. Then he came back, and then he lost again. She got engaged on the show later on. It was like part of a competition.
On the show?
Yeah.
As in, like, they came back and then they were there to like
literally
lead a
walked in. They were not part of the season. They literally walked into the house while other people were living there and brought in a bunch of other alumni who were not part of the season. And he proposed to her.
This show, I'm sorry, this show sounds so fucking stupid.
And Victor didn't even have long hair at that time. Wasn't even considered a zaddy.
He literally cut his hair right before going in. You can see like where the barber recently shaved his head.
She says to him, she's like, your hair. That would be shocking to me if someone's proposing and just got a massive haircut. I'd be like, you're taking away from the moment.
Right.
First of all, okay, I feel like
I'm so confused. What's her name?
Nicole.
Okay.
Nicole Franzel.
Franzel. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know she was a returnee. But neither did Bryce. Come on, you know she was on 2 seasons.
I said she played multiple seasons.
Did you? You didn't know her first name.
Cocolente.
It's not that Disney movie, right? Pocolente. So yeah, Nicole, so she played originally in season 16 and she was seen as a bit of like, she was not part of the main alliance, so she was a bit of an underdog. She got voted out, then came back, then got voted out again. She actually was gonna like not immediately go back out the revolving door, but she talked to Derek, who is also not playing in the season, and said like, you're just like Dan Giesling. And Derek's like, oh, well, you're on to my game, so bye. So she ended up going immediately after she came back. Season 18, she comes back as, once again, they do the 4 captains twist, 4 returning players. Everyone else are newbies. And so she came back. To Bryce's point, she was not showmancing the person that she would eventually get married to. In fact, she helped get the person she would get married to eliminated multiple times. And so she ended up making her way to the end. She was a bit of an underdog at one point. She was in an alliance with the infamous Paulie Calafiore during his whole downfall. She gets to the end against Paul, who ends up taking her, which was a bit of a controversial move. And she squeaks out a victory 5-4, the first ever woman to defeat a man in the final 2 in Big Brother US history.
Are you serious?
There's
It
a
took
lot
18
there.
seasons.
And then right after that, you had, you had her beating Paul, and then you had, spoiler for the rest of the seasons. Then you had, what was it? You had Marissa.
Casey and Tyler.
Yeah, to Casey and Tyler. You had Marissa Jarrett Winokur beating Ross Matthews in Celebrity Big Brother. You mentioned Tamar Braxton beating Ricky Williams. So like there was a whole streak after that. And, Nicole, there's also a fun rumor that there was rumors that these people like Dan and Derek were going to be on the season. And then somebody decided to spread the rumor that Nicole Franzel called the producers, tattled on them, saying that they were pre-gaming and that she single-handedly got them kicked out of the cast.
Well, that happened in Australian Survivor.
I mean, it didn't happen
Did
to
Nicole
her.
do that?
Yeah, Nicole did it to Australian Survivor too, actually. Sorry, Nick.
So I just want to fight for my points and say that Bryce thought that Victor's name was Vince and that Nicole's name was Coco.
Okay, first of all, I'm on a friendly basis with them, so she saved
Why
my
did
phone
you know
as
her
Coco.
name?
Because it's
Hold
saved in my
on.
phone as Coco.
She's your friend and you don't know her name?
Wait, she's
First
your
of all,
friend. You
Nick,
should be on this casual cast assessment
First
if you're
of all-
friends with the players.
First
Well,
of
you're
all,
taking
Nick,
casual to a whole new level. You don't
Okay,
even know your
first-
friend's name.
listen. First of all, Nick, you already gave me the point. Second of all, Mike, who getting the 3 points?
I'm going to give it to Bryce.
No!
Ah!
'Cause
Wow.
here's the thing. Nicole was involved in an all-girl alliance during her season, and just due to pure guessery, Bryce ended up getting it right. It did not end up being her overall alliance, but she was part of an alliance called the Fatal Five.
Wait, I've got more. Give me. She has beef with Brent.
It's
She has
over,
beef with
Shannon.
Brent. Give me
Shannon,
my
it's,
points.
it's over. Can we just make sure my point also goes to
No.
Bryce
Thank
because he
you.
didn't know
Why
his
is there
friend's
alliances
name?
in this
And that is the
game?
most baller thing I've ever heard.
No.
4.
Take the point, Nick. You might win
4.
still.
4. Caliente.
Oh, all right. Well, let's move on from Caliente into something a little cooler.
Oh!
Shannon, who's this?
You go straight to me because you know I won't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's old. Older than something I would know. Pre-Twitter for me. I don't know this person. So now I'm caught off guard. I'm still caught off guard from you giving me 2 points. That was honestly highway robbery, Mike. Anyway.
Bryce doubled you that round. How do you feel about
No,
that?
he did not double me. You're not giving his
He
points
did.
from Nick.
He did.
That
He
is
really
literally
did.
cheating.
Do you want me to give another point?
Girl, it might be time to get that tea from the bed.
Wait, there's no context to that for the listeners.
No, we don't need
I'm
context.
sorry.
That's
I don't need
That's
it.
It's an Australian.
It's an Australian
saying.
idiom. Get your tea from
Can
the
we get,
bathroom.
Before I podcast, I put my tea in the bathroom because I don't have anywhere in my studio to put it. That's
And then
it.
Bryce was like, what? And I said, it's an Australian phrase. Don't worry. It's certainly not an Australian phrase.
All right,
This
so
podcast
Shannon,
is gonna. Okay,
sip the tea. Who is this?
this is. I'm drawing. This is
I don't know why I'm so
Edwin.
happy right now.
Edward.
This is Edwin.
Edward.
Edward.
Ed.
Okay.
Ed. Ed is a pre-jury person, but he was robbed. He brought a lot of character to the early game. He was playing really hard. That's why he got voted out. He's a bit of a weird choice. I feel that people weren't expecting to see him again. He's not a legend of the game, but he is a big character from like the late, like 9-ish, season 9, 10, 11, 14, up to 15-ish.
Just expanding that.
How's that range, right?
streak wider,
Early
wider.
season up to 15.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Nick. What do you think?
Okay, I think that he is someone who works in college admissions, and he is.
Oh, because Paloma's that advanced.
I think he works in college admissions. I think that he robbed people up the wrong way, and I think that he was a bit of a douche nozzle, and I think that he actually is going to surprise people this time because people are not expecting much of him, and what they do know of him they don't like. And I think that he is going to be someone who is very well received, and I think his name is John or Jonathan or Johan or Johan or something like that.
Okay,
with
so
a
we're
J.
settling on Johan, the college admissions counselor.
Yeah.
All right, Bryce, what do you got?
I'm going to go with that he's a sweetheart. I'm going to go with that he was an early player of someone that was was in alliance with women. I'm going to go with his name is Sammy. And I'm going to go with that he maybe was cold in this photo because baby boy got a hoodie and a scarf on. I'm also going to go with that he might be a little sassy. I don't know. But that's going to be my go.
Well,
Okay.
Shannon can't quibble with this. Bryce, you're in the 3 points. So this is Kevin Campbell. Kevin played on season 11. Season 11, surprise, surprise, brought back a returning player, but they did it in that they divided the contestants into cliques. There was the popular clique, the nerds, the jocks, and Kevin was part of the offbeats.
This sounds
Wait,
like the
what?
worst show ever. Like,
What the hell? Are you serious? They actually made cliques
made
of like
adult
high
human
school
nerds.
cliques?
Yeah, they made the contestants, they separated them into high school cliques for the first month of the game
Why?
Why?
to compete
To
in team
relive
challenges.
everyone's trauma? Like, what is
So
that?
Kevin, so Bryce got a lot of good stuff. So Kevin was part of an alliance of pretty much all women. They were sort of all allied under the one returning player that came back named Jesse. You might know him as Mr. Spectacular. He's a big bodybuilder. And so
Spectacular.
yeah, and so Kevin was a part of that. He made it all the way to 3rd place. His alliance kind of got screwed by Jesse leaving, and so he was able to claw his way there to the end. He is gay, and he was able to get in some fights. There was actually one really interesting fight where, for some reason, Kevin he had his hands in his shirt like this, maybe because he was cold.
Cold.
Bryce-
It was cold.
Cold, yes.
But he was getting in a fight with this guy named Ronnie, who was really a big shit stirrer in the house. And I will always remember Kevin Campbell with no arms inside his shirt, nearly headbutting this guy as he's screaming at him to get out of the room.
Okay, can I just add a little anecdote? Because I used to watch a few seasons of the UK Celebrity Big Brother, CBB UK, the funniest, most whacked out stuff ever. And there's no strategy. It's all just public vote. And there was a girl called Nicola who got into a fight with the lady from How Clean Is Your House? And the whole time she was doing it, she had something in her eye. So she was doing this with her hand over half her face. And she was screaming blue murder. And they were pointing in each other's face, but the whole time doing this. And it was the best visual you could ever get out of any reality TV show. So I would love to see her with her hand over her face fighting with Kevin with his hands inside his t-shirt.
Yeah, it really would be a battle for the ages. So yeah, I'm going to give 3 points to Bryce. I'm going to give 2 points to Shannon and 1 for Nick. Unfortunately, Kevin is not a college admissions counselor.
Johan,
the college admissions counselor. But yeah, Kevin, Shannon, you were right in the money with the ever-growing streak of seasons that you talked about. He's someone from season 11, but he's also somebody that not a lot of people were expecting to ever see back, but I'm very excited. Kevin was a very capable player. He was 1 HOH win from winning the entire thing, so I'm very interested to see what he's going to bring back. He's got a little bit of that Danny Boatwright energy from the middle seasons that people don't necessarily remember.
Yes.
okay.
Turns out if you make your umbrella just season 15 and below, you might be right.
Yeah.
Is,
all right.
Okay. Wait. Is this Cammy? Cammy,
I'm
right?
getting 3 points for this. I'm getting 3 points because I know her name.
Well, okay.
This is not fair. I'm sorry. I'm calling bullshit on this whole thing.
This is swag.
Friends with the contestants.
So, that's
he doesn't know their name, so it doesn't matter.
Well, that is true though. But no, it is Swaggy P's girlfriend, Cammy.
There's literally someone called Swaggy P.
Swaggy C.
No, Swaggy C.
Girl, it's my turn. So Swaggy C. This is Cammy.
No, it's not Cammy.
It's Kim. No, not Kimmy. This is what's her name? Not Kimbella. No. Listen, she played here. Then she was on the challenge. She went really far in the challenge. She was actually made it to the finals. And yeah, Swaggy C and Cammy, or not Cammy. Oh my God, what's her name? It start with a K.
It does not start with a K. It's Bailey.
Bailey. I was
Swaggy
saying.
B.
I was saying Cammy, but I meant.
All right. Well, wait. Hold on. Let me guess.
Let me guess.
Okay. I'm gonna say her name is not Bailey.
It is Bailey.
Ooh, Shannon's playing mind games with you right now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say her name is Trisha. I don't know. Okay, so her name's Bailey. I think that she works in a casino as a croupier, and she
What
is.
is Paloma getting up to? Where's that gone?
And she's super smart.
Listen, he has to afford college. Johan wasn't able to get her in.
Johan needs some. Okay, yeah. So I think that she's a croupier or something.
I'm not a croupier.
Neither do I.
Oh, like you deal out the cards in a casino.
like a dealer.
A dealer.
Yeah.
A
Just
croupier.
a dealer.
Yeah, that's what it's called, right? Croupier. Anyway, okay. So I think she's one.
French.
Guys, this is my turn. Let's not pick on what I'm saying. I think that she is super smart, and I think that she has had experience in the entertainment industry before. So I reckon she's perhaps a model actress, as well as during the day she works as a casino hostess or croupier.
Okay, Shannon, why don't you croupier us an assessment on her?
I'm going to Google croupier.
Bailey was in the season with Tyler, so 2 seasons ago. She got engaged at the finale to Swaggy, so she's someone I would Instagram stalk, as you would understand. She was jury, but only just jury, I think. I don't know if I know that much more about her. I think that she had a really big fight with maybe Tyler. It was like a really big, ugly fight, and so she probably didn't vote for him to win, I guess. But she was on the jury. Swaggy wasn't on the jury. They knew each other for 2 weeks. Everyone doubted it, but they still are together. And her ring was massive. That's all I got.
That's
Why
all
is
that
he not
matters.
on the season?
It's the size of the ring. So this is Bailey, also known as Cammy.
Also known as croupier.
So Bailey just made the jury, as you said. So basically, this season was based on technology, and certain people were given powers. And Bailey had a power, but she told the other alliance about it, and they got rid of her because they said she's threatening because she has power now. This sort of ended up elevating to a point where she had this screaming match with Tyler, as Shannon mentioned, where she ended up biting the inside of her cheek because she was so livid. And so she was literally gushing blood as she's screaming at Tyler. She was very, understandably, I think, just like emotionally overwhelmed. She was with Swaggy, and he left in the second week, and she felt very much like down and on the outs. She gets this power, and she thought she was able to use it for her benefit, but it turns out that it all ended up blowing up in her face. She does indeed take it out on Tyler, in that she is one of the votes that cost him the win in the end. To Bryce's point, she comes back to the challenge, kicks ass, makes the final as a rookie. So I'm very excited. This is Bailey coming in without Swaggy, but it seems like her and Tyler have also made up as well. But we'll see when push comes to shove in the Big Brother house.
Wait, her alliance name was named The Hive.
It was named The Hive /Faute, which stood for 5 of us to the end. And then that the week after, one alliance member nominated another alliance member. So it was not very true of a statement.
And was she a croupier?
No, she was a flight attendant.
But she is a model, right?
So I guess she's like a plane croupier.
A croupier or dealer is someone appointed at a gambling table to assist in the conduct of the game, especially in the distribution of bets and payouts.
Wow, you taught us something because you're an English
we all
teacher.
learned a word. Yeah, we all learned
French
a little
teacher as well, apparently.
Apparently there's a movie called Croupier as well.
Mm.
We'll do a movie night after this. All right, let's move on here. Shannon, who is this?
You always go to me when you know I won't know.
Oh, yeah, that's the name of the game.
Okay, so I'm going to say season 15 down. Just like any of those seasons, I claim him. This guy's name, I'm seeing Matt, He's wearing the kind of shirt that 12-year-olds would wear to bar mitzvahs.
Terrible.
He's a villain. He's really dumb. He's either a villain or he's really dumb, or he's both. He's a really dumb villain. I don't have much about him. He kind of stumbled his way through, and people didn't like him, but he's a big character, and that's why he's back. Mid-jury. All
right, Bryce, what do you think?
I'm going with like what was his name on Saved by the Bell? Zach
Morris.
Zach Morris. He's giving me very Zach Morris-esque. I'm going to go with Shannon and agree that he's definitely a villain. And that's all I got. And he's from an early season because that shirt is definitely from like 2003. So
All right, Nick. I don't know if you did your eye test as to what was on the shirt. But what do you think about this guy?
It looks like a horse running sideways.
Oh
no, it's a dragon.
It's a dragon chained to a globe, I think.
Oh, it looked like
okay.
a pelican.
Okay, so I reckon his name is Brett. And I reckon that he went really far. For him to be remembered enough to come back many, many years later, I reckon he needed to have done something worthwhile in terms of the public's opinion. I think that he may have been in a showmance, or like people crushed hard on him. Maybe even the average viewers at home crushed on him. And that he kind of gives me those kind of hunter vibes from cases where it's like, didn't really do much, but for some reason stuck around simply because he looked good. Even though I think he looks like a total cheeseball, but I think that would have resonated with the audience. So I would say he's from that, below season 10. I think he made it far. And I think for some reason he's coming back, and it's because he was everyone's teen crush.
Oh,
Something like that, like a heartthrob.
I do remember back in 2008 when everyone had posters of Memphis Garrett on our walls.
Is his name Memphis?
His name is Memphis.
Wait, hold on, pause. Okay, so on Twitter, someone sent me a video of all these people getting into a massive fight on a season, and they said, watch this. And this was before this podcast. We said we're going to do it. And it was started with someone whispering through the wall, and then someone heard it, and then went and reported it back, and then they started fighting, and then another person started fighting, and they all started fighting, and then it was someone's birthday. And I remember thinking, surely some of these names are not real, because someone's name was like Pisces or something, and Memphis.
Libra.
Pisces is a nicer name than Libra, I think.
I would agree.
Yeah, here in Australia, Libra is like a name of like a tampon company.
Yeah, Libra is
Oh, really?
What's the nicest name? I guess Leo is a name.
Yeah.
In terms of the star signs, I'm trying to think like what would be the best.
I feel like you could do like Capricorn and like Cappy for short.
No, don't name the next one Capricorn.
Cappy Caliente. No, so I thought it was really strange. They all had really weird names. Like one was called like Colonel, one was called Memphis, and one was So he must have been in amongst all that craziness.
Yeah, so Memphis was involved indeed with Pisces and Colonel and the gang. So Memphis is part of season 10, which is Dan Giesling's original season, and he was in an alliance with Dan called the Renegades. They were a secret alliance, and Memphis nearly went home in week 4. He was a bit of a schmoozer. To your point, Nick, which is why you're getting the 3 points. He was someone who was a bit of like a lazy man, sort of had like that used car salesman vibe to him. And so he nearly went in week 4, but he gets saved partially because of Dan. And then after that, him and Dan work together subtly under this behind the scenes until they make it to the final 2. And Memphis Garrett is the first person to get shut out in a final 2 vote in Big Brother US history.
Right.
I have a question. Why is his first name not a name, but his second name is a first name?
It could be that there was a comma misplaced somewhere in his life. His name
his name is Garrett Memphis.
Is he actually? He doesn't seem like a very good choice. Is he one of the people that people are like, what the hell is he doing here?
Definitely. I think he's somebody who I think is a bit of an underappreciated person. Obviously, I think people have a much more appreciation for Dan than they do for Memphis. I think he's sort of like he's one of these people, sort of like Kevin that I mentioned before, that it's like, okay, this is a surprise, but I'm not particularly mad at it. Because again, he did make it to the final 2. He had enough of a game to him, and he hasn't played in a long time. So like, who knows what he's going to be like now. But yeah, this was definitely one that when his name came up, and he still might not be on the cast, but it very much surprised people when they heard he was playing.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Moving on here. Bryce, who is this?
Carol Ann.
Carol Ann Baskins?
And she looks like she is a flight attendant in this photo. But I don't know. I get like sassy Southern from her. And yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I want to say from a more recent season, maybe 17 and up. And that's all I got.
All right, Nick.
I reckon her name is Becky. or Becca. I think that she was on the same season as the guy with the weird pants because I recognize the background. Is that true?
That's true.
Okay. I reckon that she is like a she runs a Christian mingle website, and she was like former Miss Idaho, something like that.
All right. And Shannon?
Janelle.
This is Janelle, yes.
Oh.
So she was on Amazing Race. Did you guys not watch that season of The Amazing Race?
I stopped watching Amazing Race about years ago.
This was like reality contestants. Anyway, so she was on it. I also this was the only season I've watched recently. But she was on. I didn't get a lot of from her in The Amazing Race, but I know that she is like a huge legend. She's like a perennial Rob goddess. She's made it to the end multiple times. She was a coach on Ian's season, which must be why the background is the same. I don't know a lot more about her other than that she's like a massive, massive legend.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like the Suri of Big Brother in terms of being
really?
watched.
Yeah,
Really?
I mean, so Janelle.
She must have played these. Oh, what?
Oh, wow. She played
So she is prospectively coming back for a fourth time. So I talked about that first season. She was a close ally of Kaysar. She was part of that underdog alliance where she continuously got targeted, but made it all the way to the final three, where she just lost out at the end. Comes back for All Stars, obviously a huge fan favorite. Once again, gets targeted from the very beginning. Wins, I think 9 competitions in that season. Also showmances the famous Dr. Will. Just gets to the end, just misses out once more. So 2 third-place finishes back to back, then comes back as one of the coaches, and basically the other coaches turn on her. There's a certain point where they can enter the game as real legitimate players, and then once they do, they're like, we need to get rid of Janelle.
Oh, is that what everyone was worried about with Rob and Sandra on Idol of the Idols, that at one point they were going to be able to enter the game? Is it because yeah,
so that's where the concern came from. They were at one point the coaches were given a button to press, and if they pressed the button, they could come back into the game. And so 3 out of the 4 of them pressed the button, and so they all got released back into the game. But Janelle is a living legend of Big Brother.
So even if you didn't press the button, you got into the game?
So it was the majority. So 3 out of the 4 of them did. It would basically like you're making a decision on behalf of the entire group. But Janelle is a huge personality, huge underdog. One of the most famous moments she had is right when Kaysar got taken out for the second time. She wins head of household, yells, "Give me that key, bitch," to the person giving her the key, and then said, as soon as she nominated 2 people, and then as she was being carried away, said, "Bye bye, bitches," to them. As she left. She is such a freaking firecracker. As Shannon says, she was on The Amazing Race, but she is one of the biggest names in Big Brother history.
Okay.
To the point where she played 8 years ago, yet she's still like revered amongst Big Brother fans.
Right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so she's a little like Sari combined with like her longevity is sort of like Boston Rob-esque, and that I believe she'll be the only 4-time player to come back this season.
So do you reckon she'll align with that the guy with the goatee that you said they were friends?
Yeah, I think her and Kaysar, aka Carlos, would. I think they'll probably stick together. You know, they were very close on their original season, and so I could imagine, even if they haven't talked in like half a decade, that they'd still probably gravitate towards one another because they know how the other person works. They work together closely in both season 6 and 7, and I feel like that's something that you don't lose.
Can I just ask one more question? How much of how much did I know they're all in lockdown, but how much do they know about who was in the mix beforehand? Like, did it happen like you've got the call, you're coming right now, or has there been months for them to kind of start to pregame?
It's been the latter. Rumors of an all-star season has pretty much been in the mill since June. And so a lot of people were just sort of hitting each other up, sliding into DMs, being like, are you on? Are you on? They only started doing sequester really about like 2 weeks ago, because that's when they wanted to start the quarantine. And so they didn't really finalize everything until then. So suffice it to say, it has made everything extremely messy to the point where people who might not be on this season did a hell of a lot of pre-gaming for a season that they will not ultimately be on.
Right. Sounds awful.
All right. Next up here. Nick, who is that?
Okay, I don't know her name, but I've seen a meme of her like going like something like this and walking out of a door, and then at Easter.
Yeah, oh my god, that's her from the GIF.
And then at Easter,
god, she's in that meme.
at Easter there was like a picture of Jesus that was like cartoon drawn of her walking out the same way, like coming out of the tomb. And her name's Devon. Devon.
Yes, you got it.
Davina. Yes, I knew one.
Do you know anything that Devon did?
She was in that meme.
No, I know that she was in a meme, and she must have been super popular because as she was like walking out, I guess that's once you're voted out.
Once you're voted out, so that's you exit the house, and then that's the walk you do to Julie Chen to sit down and do your interview.
Yes. And I believe that she has also been on other things. Like, has she been on, I don't know if it's like The Challenge or I don't know. But I feel like I've heard about her doing other stuff. Mm-hmm. And she's like super funny, super loud, and like, just like a super fan favorite.
All right, Shannon, what about you?
I only knew her name. I know Twitter loves her, but Nick also just said that. So I'm gonna have to come up. This is a very different background, I feel, than that we've had.
Yeah.
So maybe season have we had season 12? Season 13? One of those 2 seasons. Twitter loves her, so I'm gonna say she was totally robbed.
Sassy, super sassy, I reckon.
People love her. Really funny, good player, but could improve. I got nothing else.
All right, Bryce, what do you got?
Devon Rogers. It was either 19 or 18, a RHAP goddess. Yes, she's known for her gif of walking out of the house. And I forgot, they brought her back for something, and there's another gif of her like, she is a RHAP goddess. She went out very early. She has gone on to the challenge, and Devon is amazing. She's got like a 5-year-old daughter, and she don't play that, okay? She's a Christian woman, but she'll cuss you the hell out. Yes, Twitter, Instagram, we all love her, and I am excited, and hopefully that she is on this season because I feel like she is another one of those people, and especially like on Big Brother, that she got the rap of like the angry Black woman, and she just did not. She had a premature edit, and I just love her, and I hope that she is on here, because if she is on here, she's about to dominate. Okay, I stan Devon. So boom, give me my 3 points.
Yeah, you and me both, Bryce. Devon,
he deserves that one. Fine.
Devon is one of my favorite Big Brother characters of all time. She is confessional gold. She will give it to you in those confessionals, and not in like the scripted way like you sometimes get with the diary room confessionals. Like, she is just so natural, as you guys mentioned. So she played 2 seasons of Big Brother. Her first season, so they did this twist in Big Brother where they had a pair of twins that for a while played as one person.
Yeah, we had that in Australian Big Brother back in the day.
Where they would switch places routinely. And if they weren't discovered as being 2 different people, then the other twin would enter the game and they would play, as 2 separate people.
Shannon, do you remember that? Do you remember the Logan Paul and Logan David twist?
Oh, Logan Paul.
Their names were both Logan?
No, so their last name was Logan, but one was David and one was Paul. So they played as someone called Logan, and they would have to come into the diary room and quickly change clothes.
So Memphis could have been Garrett.
Memphis situation.
and so this was when
I don't remember
like the 3rd or 4th Big Brother in Australia, but like again, it was just voting to win. They ended up winning, but like So what happened was they were playing soccer in the backyard, and one of them accidentally smashed the camera window, and it cut all his dressing, his shirt, so he needed to get dressings put on. So then when they needed to change clothes, they also needed to apply the dressings to the other person, and then they got that someone busted them because they were like, wasn't your dressing on the other side or something crazy like that? Yeah, but then they ended up voting out one of them, and then the one who stayed ended up winning. I think it was like the 3rd or 4th Australian.
It's actually pretty similar here, where Devon was the one to really catch onto this, and she sort of exposed the twin twist, but people were so threatened by how perceptive she was that she got voted out second in her first season,
which is a BS. But
but luckily for all of us, she made such an impression that they brought her back. She was part of Nicole's season that she won. She was one of those 4 coaches, and she made a bigger impression. She had hit the ground running, made a good amount of alliances. Unfortunately, those alliances fell apart a bit, including one with Nicole, and she ended up going right out at the jury. Since doing that, she has appeared on 2 seasons of The Challenge and killed it as well. I am just so pumped to see Davon back here. She is the source of many gifts, as Nick said, the one of her running out of the house. There's the one where she has her hands over her mouth and it says pretends to be shocked on the bottom. There's also the one that you might have seen where she gets like face to face with Paulie Calafiore because she like dug into him for being a misogynist in the jury house. So like Davon is always going to tell you how she feels, which can hurt her game sometimes, but also just makes her such a fantastic TV character.
How paranoid would you be if you had to like doubt if everyone was actually twins all the time? Like knowing that could be a twist, you'd be like, "Are you twins
you have
right
to pay
now?"
attention to each and every part of a person's body to make sure it's like
well,
slightly different.
Nick would do really good on that.
Zoom right into that eye.
I think you might get voted out first because he's just staring at people's bodies. All right.
Well, I feel like a bit of a kinship with Devon because I've played twice and not cracked 11th place either. So, you know, not cracked that top 10.
I mean, I think a lot of people have been comparing Davon to Nick Yadanza, and I think we've officially vocalized it now.
You both are gift machines. Also, what were the points? You didn't.
I'm going to give 3 points to Bryce. Obviously, I'm going to give 2 points to Nick because Shane, you didn't really have much on it. Davon.
Okay, well that's fair, but we don't need to dwell on it. Let's go on.
Bryce, who is this?
Oh, that's I don't know. I feel like I know him, but every time I'll be like, "Oh, this is a recent season." And then like Shannon and Nick are like, it's an old season. So I don't know. Looks like his name might be Randy. I feel like from this photo, he could be like Mr. Clean's nephew. Like, you know, like, I don't know, like, or the brawny man's cousin.
All right. What do you think he did to get onto All Stars?
He had a showmance. I don't know.
Okay. Nick, what about you?
I reckon he's giving me vibes like Dan from David Goliath, and I reckon that he got like screwed with like. Is there idols in Big Brother? No. Is there an idol equivalent or anything like that? Like
no, there are no like secret things to help like nullify votes or anything like that.
Or like or some sort of power or something like that. Okay, so like. I've also heard that there's a phrase called "to get backdoored," and the first time I heard that, I was like, "Whoa!" Okay, but
okay, I'm listening.
I watched that in a Coco Caliente video once.
So I'm gonna say that he got like backdoored, and not in the fun way. So I reckon, he was like royally screwed, and people thought he was really nice. But I reckon that he is a salesman, and I think his name is something equally vanilla like Dan or Nick or something boring like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Shannon, what about you?
You're going to me last. Like, do you think I know? I don't know who this is. Okay. Why are you judging me? Should I know who it is? Is it a Calafiore?
There's more than one.
I don't know. I don't know. Mike thinks I might know, so I think he's recent. I think that I'm going to say his name is Paul or Cody, in case I'm right. I'm going to say that he had a bro alliance. He made it far, but not due to his own merit. Like a lot of like guys stuff, fairly recent season, had a showmance, but it never went anywhere. Definitely not worth my Instagram stalking, and is now on Cameo, in case I'm right.
So you're right.
Nothing wrong with being on Cameo. There's nothing wrong with being on Cameo,
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it.
Yes, if you want to book a Cameo.
Nick will just stare the entire time. So this is a Calafiore, but it is not Paulie. It is Cody.
I said Cody. Okay, so I was right.
The original flavor Calafiore from season 16. And guys, this is the woo of Big Brother. Cody was in another secret duo alliance with the aforementioned Derek called the Hitmen, made their way all the way to the final two. And Cody, when the final HOH was given the choice to take to the end, Derek or a woman by the lovely young woman by the name of Victoria, who he assumingly would have won against. And he said, listen, I promised Derek I would go to the end with him. And so he took Derek, and Derek beat him. And he's often looked at as making one of the worst decisions in Big Brother history. Outside of that, he was very likable. He did end up getting 3 jury votes because he was very social, very athletic, used to be a soccer player, a bit flirtatious as well, flirted with Amber, who we met earlier on in this presentation. Also got into a bit of controversy when he was cuddling with a married woman named Christine. So there was a little bit of controversy there.
Is that my wife, Christine?
No, hopefully not. But yeah, Cody, very nice seeming guy who just made a real boneheaded mistake at the end. And from that perspective, I'm intrigued to see, what he's going to do with his second time out.
Is it like Survivor where they'll keep saying like, Eric, you gave up your immunity, and they'll just keep hamming that thing up every single time?
The thing is that Julie Chen, who's the host, doesn't have like as much of a dialogue with the contestants who are currently in the game as much as Jeff Probst does. Usually she'll talk with somebody when you're like Davon dancing to sit down with them afterwards. Otherwise, she'll usually just like throw a couple questions their way on eviction night. So if anything, it's going to be harped on to us, but not to him. He's not going to be constantly reminded of it like poor Eric with the immunity necklace.
Okay. Can I ask a random Big Brother
absolutely
question that just popped up? Who is in, you can maybe fill me in, who was it or what season was it when there was like a gay guy and he would like cuddle with like somebody in his alliance, like his bromance?
Yep, this was actually this season. You're speaking of the one and only Frankie Grande. So Frankie was in an alliance with Cody, with Derek, with Amber, and he was in an alliance with a man by the name of Zach Rance, who was this very energetic, excitable. So Frankie and Zach sort of had like a flirtmance going on. The Zanky crew, as they called it, was out in full force. So yeah, this was this very season that relationship you're talking about happened.
I know Frankie because he was on Celebrity Big Brother UK, I think.
Yes, he was.
Also, isn't he Ariana Grande's brother?
He's Ariana Grande's half brother, step brother, something like that.
Oh, Zach.
Yeah, he was on CBB. Yeah.
All right, let's move on here. Shannon, who's this?
She looks like the chick from Real Housewives of OC. She looks like, what's her name? Gretchen. She looks like Gretchen Rossi.
She looks like Gretchen and Tamara, old Tamara.
Yes, old Tamara.
We've definitely seen this background.
Yeah. So
maybe she's an all-star player. So she's early, and she's like, her name is Trish. She actually kind of looks a little bit like Trish, right? Maybe that's why I'm thinking that. No, okay. She's a mom. And she'll coddle you, but then she'll cut you. People judged her too harshly for her moves because she was a mom. And never took her seriously.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Nick, what do you think?
Is she the girl whose birthday it was during that big fight that I watched on YouTube?
It was.
Nick, this is such a fruitful fight for you.
Her name is Keisha.
Yep, you're right.
Keisha. And
Keisha?
then the whole idea for this podcast started because when Kellen tweeted something and I said, yes, she tweeted that like all of a sudden she's hearing all these names of people saying they're going to be on Big Brother and she got sucked in to the excitement of it. And I was like, yes, I know, right? Like as if Keisha's going to be on like as a joke, not even knowing who Keisha was. And then underneath that, then like Mike kind of got involved and then someone sent me the link to that video. So we can thank her for the craziness that is this podcast.
Okay, thank you, Keisha.
Is that right, Mike? Have I got the right person?
You do. You have the right person. Bryce, what do you think Keisha did to earn her place on this season?
I don't even know. First of all, her name is Keisha.
Her name is Keisha.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bryce is awestruck right now.
Yeah, that kind of struck me too.
Yes, and not a Keisha Smith too at that. Okay. I mean, besides the fact that she Keisha, I'm gonna go with that. She's a little spicy. She's definitely got 80s hair vibe. And yeah, so Keisha.
Well, so
is she someone who like people never would have expected to come back, but people are super into it?
Very much so. So yeah, Nick, I'll give you the 3. Bryce, I'll give you the 2 because she is spicy. So basically, yeah, Keisha is somebody who actually, had a bit of sort of a camaraderie with the aforementioned Memphis, where when Memphis was going to go back in that 4th week, she is someone who's like, no, I want to keep Memphis in, to the point where she actually turns on her alliance alongside Libra/Pisces to keep Memphis and flip the game on its head. She was very outspoken. She may have mom vibes here, but actually at the time, she was a Hooters waitress.
Oh, I can see that though.
But she definitely
Why
made
was
an
I
impact.
getting mom vibes from the Hooters waitress?
So she's definitely like the people from Real Housewives of OC. She's definitely giving me Tamra vibes then, yeah.
But she made a big dent in the season, made her way all the way to the end with the alliance that she made. She ends up getting betrayed by Dan and Memphis at the end, ends up going out in 4th place, does win America's Favorite Player. She's very personable, laughs like a dolphin, which definitely made an impression. But yeah, people loved her at the time, but I don't think any of us would have expected her to ever come back. It's always like one of those, like, wouldn't it be nice to see her come back? And she was one of the last names to sort of pop into the mix as of late. So to have her in the mix is like, this is random, but I'm loving this.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that.
Would you suggest, if you've never watched the whole season, to start at season 10? Because season 10 kind of sounds lit.
Season 10 is one of my favorite seasons. I think it's the perfect combination of, like, it's both old school and new school. It's new school in like the way they produce it, but it's still old school in that there's barely any twists. The cast is like small and super interesting. So I heavily recommend, like, if you're ever suggesting or want to watch a season, definitely season 10 is like a good place to start.
Or just watch that fight that someone linked me on.
Yeah, with Garrett Memphis.
Now.
All right, here we go, guys. This is our last one. We finally come to the end of the road here. Shannon, who's this?
I thought that the last one was going to be Hayden. I thought that Hayden was on the cast.
Survivor Hayden.
Yeah.
So Survivor Hayden for a while was rumored, but I believe he is off the rumor at this point.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I feel like I know a lot about Hayden. This man is someone I don't know. John. I'm going to say his name is John.
Mm-hmm.
He's in corporate. He's a corporate man. High flyer. Came in kind of alpha, led an alliance, and was eventually taken down by his own people. Old school, very iconic. Yeah. All
right, Bryce, what do you got?
First of all, he's giving me he's giving me like a Joe Giudice, like he's giving me like from Housewives.
Hopefully without the prison time.
Yeah. That's the exact Bryce. That's exactly the vibe I was getting.
So I'm gonna go with the name Joe. I'm gonna go that he had all boys alliance. I'm gonna go that he definitely made them. I won't say the merge. He's probably like
jury
5th or 4th. And I get that he's like short, and I get that he's extremely loyal.
Okay, and Nick?
I'm going to say his name's Rob or Roberto or something really like a fellow Italian here. And I reckon that he's like some sort of contractor like Joe Giudice. And I reckon that he was like, just one of those gruff talking, New York Italians. And I think that he was like, everyone loved his, bada bing, bada, all that kind of stuff. And really that he was just kind of like all character, not much substance, but makes it far anyway. And is somehow has a good penchant for the game, even though like he's, what are you going to do? That kind of guy.
All right. Well, Bryce, you were closest with the name with Joe, but let's make it a rhyme and call him Enzo.
Oh.
Enzo Palumbo.
Was he close with
Hey,
Joe?
I'm related to Palumbos in Adelaide here. Maybe we're cousins.
That's fair. But is Joe close to Enzo?
I mean,
closer
Shannon,
than Robert.
Right. Shannon, you just coming for me. You just can't see your baby boy win over here.
Shannon, it's interesting you had Hayden on the brain, though, because this is the guy from Hayden's season. So this guy, Bryce, one of the reasons why you get the 3 points is he is responsible for forming the infamous Big Brother alliance, the Brigade, which was an alliance of 4 guys who, stop me if you heard this before, secretly controlled the game behind the scenes. It was an alliance that nobody knew about. They made up 3 of the final 4. Enzo gave everyone nicknames, Philip Shepard style. his nickname for some reason was the Meow Meow. And so that's what a lot of people remember Enzo as the Meow Meow.
Is that named after like the Mau Mau, like the genocidal guy from Kenya who like killed all those people?
I doubt Enzo knows who that is. I think he just
sorry,
likes cats.
Or the cat commercial. Meow, meow, meow.
Yeah, I think Enzo was more about the meow mix. But yeah, this is a guy. It's interesting. Nick, you bring up some interesting points because I think Enzo is somebody who was a bit of a big character, but I think is a bit of a strategic guy that's a bit underrated because, again, he was the one to sort of, construct this alliance together. He was fiercely loyal. So, again, I'll give that to Bryce as well. He ends up making it all the way to finale night, ends up going out in third place. He's another big surprise, a little bit random, because I think he was certainly like a character on his season, but definitely not like the big character. This was the big Brendan and Rachel season. This was Brittany Haynes' original season as well. So there was a lot of people involved, and Enzo definitely was a part of that, but I don't think he was sticking out at anyone's heads as like, this is a guy we got to bring back. But once again, like some of these other people, like a Keisha or a Memphis or a Kevin, he's someone that's like, okay, I'm interested at least to see what the Meow Meow is going to do his second time out.
I like
Was he a contractor? What's his job? Is he?
I think he was working in marketing at the time. I'm not sure what he does now.
Is he short?
He was pretty short.
Is he Italian?
Oh, he's Italian.
Well, then Nick got that. We all got some stuff.
We all got a little bit there.
Yeah,
you guys are able to like Frankenstein out Enzo.
222.
No.
All right. Well, I did a little bit of my bastardized math here.
Wait, what were the points for this though?
3.
2 to Nick and then 1 to Shannon.
But I said he was in marketing. I said he was corporate.
Not enough, Shannon.
Not enough to get the rhyming name.
You didn't do an accent.
Yeah, you didn't do an Italian accent. That was the requisite. I'm sorry.
This is anti-Semitic. If he was Jewish, I would have known, and then I would have said it.
Listen, the Jew won in the end anyway, because Shannon, you ended up taking the victory here. Very close
Best
though.
point system ever.
Shannon had 35, and Bryce and Nick tied with 33.
Oh!
Wait, did you give?
Oh my God! I
Bryce
gave you a point, bro.
I did not give Bryce the extra the point from
okay,
Nick.
okay,
But if there was maybe another cast member, maybe it would have been a different outcome. But with the 17 we currently have, that's where we stand. But look, you guys finishing like within basically a few points of each other shows that you were all pretty like good / maybe bad at this game.
Well,
I think good because this was extremely entertaining from my perspective.
Nick had that one clip. I am tapped into recent season Twitter, and Bryce is friends with some of the contestants and has them in his phone. So we all had a leg up, but I have no problem with the point scoring system. I think you did an awesome job, Mike. I think that you scored really well.
No,
I think it was a great competition, and congrats to everyone, and well done to me.
Oh my God, this was... I mean, the true winners, I think, were all of us Big Brother diehards who got to watch you guys assess these people react to some of the weirdest twists in Big Brother history.
Look, I got to say, it sounds terrible, but like the entertainment, I'm sure that's so entertaining, but like, I don't think it's something that you can watch with like, can you watch it in a way that's like you take it seriously if there's so much kind of like toing and froing and changing and twisting and
hence the battle that a lot of Big Brother fans are fighting, especially people who have been watching since the beginning, since the days of Kaysar and Janelle, is that if you watch the live feeds, there's so much strategy going on that you can really pay attention to. The show itself is more packaged as a Nickelodeon show that you and Paloma might watch to look out for David, perhaps, as a children's entertainer on. So that's really the big disparity. That being said, it's coming soon, only a few days from now, and we have broken down people who might be on this cast. I want to profusely thank the three of you so much. This was so much fun. I love any excuse I get to talk with the three of you, and thank you for volunteering your casual takes to talk about a subject like Big Brother. I was entertained to the moon and back, personally.
Thank you so much. I hope that everyone flames us with all our incorrect takes.
Cocalente.
I just wanted to be, when Mike said this was the crew, I was like, that's a fun way to spend the day. So I will put forward my casual take for it. Yeah.
And hopefully everyone else agrees as well. We'll go down the line quickly. How can people keep up with you on social media and let you know about any other projects we're doing? We'll just go down the column once more. Nick?
Yeah, just on Instagram, on Twitter, @NickIadanza, and I'm just like gone back to my normal life after Survivor, and I could not be happier to be back in the classroom and being a dad and literally just tweeting about funny TV shows without the stress of being on them. So it's do you know what? 2020 has been crazy for many reasons, but it does feel like that was a lifetime ago, and I kind of like it because I'm enjoying just chilling and watching along with everyone. And I may dip my toe in every once in a while with Big Brother and just kind of catch up with my croupier and my college
your croupier and Kane, the Smurf instructor,
and Johan, my college admissions counselor.
And Pisces is friend.
Pisces is not the season, unfortunately.
Pisces friend.
Pisces BFF Keisha Smith.
And hit me up with any of your Real Housewives comparisons that we missed, guys.
Potomac, Nick Potomac.
I know, 2 days. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
All right, Bryce, what do you got going on?
Yes, you guys can follow me on Instagram, the Insta and the Twitter at Bryce Isaiah. And yes, every Tuesday, Purple Pants Podcast. It's a Purple Pants Podcast, baby boy.
And I really have to recommend the last one. Yeah, it's had to sit down with Wendell and with Rodney about your respective relationships with them, talk about sexuality, about gender treatment, etc. And it really was just, Bryce, honestly, like one of the best conversations I've heard in quite some time. So I really encourage everybody to check it out.
Thank you, Mike. Yes. Won't you be my ally?
All right. And Shannon, what do you got?
You can follow me on Twitter and Insta at Shannon Gates. And next week, ex-Australian Survivor contestant Lockie will be the Bachelor.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing a little something about that. So I don't know what's going to happen yet, but follow along for that. Because this is what it's got to. Like 4 weeks into a 6-week lockdown, that's about to become another 6 weeks. I'm doing this Big Brother podcast, The Bachelor. I'm still not gonna watch Big Brother though,
I cannot wait to see Lockie on The Bachelor. Like we've been messaging all week. I'm like, it's gonna be the biggest disaster, and I can't wait. I've literally tell him all the time, I'm like, you realize that I am just going to be like messaging, like just tweeting out the most horrific things about you. He's like, I can't wait.
Bryce, do you know Lockie? Because I feel like he's got a cover spot on the. I know the cover's not good. He's got the first page on the Zaddy calendar, I think.
Oh no, you had.
Yeah,
I'm gonna message you a clip.
Yeah.
Also,
my favorite GIF I've ever been in part of is Lockie pulling me by the ankles like a rag doll, twisting me and then pushing me like 5 meters into the air.
That's Lockie.
That's Lockie.
Okay.
The reason that Lockie is the Bachelor, I think, is because in his first season, there was a challenge where his pants came down and just were down for the whole challenge. And we don't blow butts in Australia. So he's now the Bachelor. But we're doing that. I will follow along with Big Brother on Twitter. And now I know who people are. And I feel like that'll be a pretty good summation.
So that's what it means to get your tea out of the bathroom, right? To like show your ass.
Out of the bathroom.
So plenty of tea coming from Shannon.
I don't have space for my tea in my tiny studio. Is that okay for you guys?
You can follow me at a Mike Bloom type. Liana, Boris, and I are going to be back every week doing the RHAP BNB. Have a really fun preseason podcast out right now, and we of course back each and every week breaking down the shenanigans to ensue. Also, hopefully covering the show for Parade.com, doing exit press and all the other stuff I'm doing. Lost, Top Chef, Survivor, etc., etc. Plenty more to come in your ears, including Big Brother content. If you want some Big Brother content, you're going to get it in droves here. A Lockie-sized portion of content coming from Rob, Taryn, and the LFC this fall, and I absolutely cannot wait. Make sure you're subscribed. Let us know what you think about this. This was so much fun. This made me even more somehow excited to check out Big Brother All-Stars. The whole gang is coming back. On Enzo's face, we will close out this fantastic conversation. Thank you all so much for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.